We all should squat, as this is one of the fundamental human movements. But have you ever experienced knee pain when you squat? Most likely the answer is yes. Typically this happens because you do not squat deep enough. You are stuck somewhere between a 60 and 90 degree angle. This causes knee overuse injuries because your knees take most of the pressure without support from the surrounding tissues when you only move in this middle zone. Compare this to the deep squat. First of all, it works through a wider range of motion, which effectively distributes pressure between different muscles and tendons. And your leg muscles also absorb some of the forces at the bottom of the squat. Now, let's consider what can prevent you from squatting deep. There are two main factors that contribute to this: hip and ankle mobility. When you have limited ankle mobility, your shins stay too vertical, and you tend to push your hips backward. As a result, you have to lean forward and stay high in order to keep balance. In this case, the squat becomes a half squat and half deadlift, which can overload both knees and the lower back. If you have a hip mobility problem, you are not able to close that hip angle, forcing you to round the lower back when you go down. Once again, it leads to staying too high, putting maximum strain on the knees. Now I'm going to tell you about a squat variation that avoids these issues. People often criticize this exercise saying it's bad form, but in fact, this is not a modern invention. These are commonly known as Hindu squats, and people have been practicing them for centuries as a training tool for wrestling. Some wrestlers in the past did hundreds or even thousands of these squats per day. So what's so special about Hindu squats? Let's find out. First of all, it's a very safe way to perform squats. When you push the knees forward, you can stay upright, unloading the lower back. And when you elevate your heels, ankle mobility is no longer limiting your depth. At the same time, the knees go through the whole range of motion, distributing the load evenly. And when you hit the bottom, it's almost like a deep tissue massage for your knees. After I started doing Hindu squats as a part of my warm-up routine, all little aches and pains in my knees gradually disappeared. At this point, I don't even remember the last time I had any issues. Okay, but what if you cannot perform Hindu squats due to some limitation? There are some useful regressions available to almost everyone. You can start with one foot on a box, putting just a little bit of pressure on the knee as you push it forward. Over time, you can increase the pressure and even use light weights. In fact, this exercise increases your ankle mobility, which will help improve your flat-footed squat as well. After that, you can start practicing sitting at the bottom of the squat and rocking forward and backward. When you become comfortable with that, it's time to remove the box and do something that I can describe as heel-elevated deep squat bicycle knees. And finally, you will be ready to progress to the best warm-up exercise of all, the duck walk. It will not take long for you to achieve good quality Hindu squats after that. You can perform them as a warm-up, 2 or 3 sets of 10 repetitions should be enough. Or you can make them a part of your regular training if you want to. I would suggest performing multiple sets of 20 repetitions. You can start with 2 sets and progressively increase it to 5 sets, 100 reps total. Of course, to keep things in balance, it makes sense to continue performing flat-footed squats as well, with or without weights, especially when you see your ankle and hip mobility improving. I hope this information is useful, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.